Jennifer. Again, I am Matthew Smurda. I am the family law attorney of the group. The name of the firm that I work for is the Law Offices of Robert in Action, and we are about 100 yards that way. So before I talk business, we'll talk family. This is my wife, Emily. This is a picture from our wedding about 7 years ago. We got married on the North Shore of Oahu, Hawaii. And this is my daughter, Paisley. And my son, Cruz. And my 3 fur babies, Lola, Cooper, and Scar. So now getting back to business, well, a lot of people may not know this. What is family law? Well, it covers a lot of different areas. It covers divorce, which is the most common area, and a sub-issue of that is spousal support or alimony. Paternity issues for anyone who has a child and is not married. It deals with the child support and the child custody issues for that child. It deals with nullity claims, also known as an annulment, if somebody wants to get their marriage voided for a variety of reasons. We do a certain type of agreement, a certain narrow area of agreements, the most common of which are prenuptial agreements or prenups. We do postnuptial agreements, which, for lack of a better description, are prenups after you're married. And a few other subsets, cohabitation agreements for people who don't want to get married but live together and want to define their rights. And popular in the Beverly Hills area is the, quote, non-marital relationship agreement, or the sugar daddy, sugar baby agreements. We also do domestic partnerships. It could be a sugar mama, sugar baby as well, that's correct. And we do domestic partnerships for same-sex couples and for senior citizens who don't want to get married, as well as alimony claims, which is basically California's equivalent of common law marriage, although people would fault me for describing it that way. So, to summarize, all the messy stuff. And why? Because life is messy. And as long as there are people that feel this way about each other, there'll be need for my services. So, who do I represent? Well, pretty much anybody who's facing a family law issue. I've represented folks from all walks of life: business owners, stay-at-home parents, professionals, senior citizens, even a few celebrities and public figures. My firm and I, here's a couple examples of clients we've represented in the past. Yeah, that's right. And here are some of the now ex-husbands of clients we've represented in the past. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Stuff comes up afterwards, post-judgment. Come talk to me after the meeting and I'd be happy to share some stories. And there's other ones that we're not supposed to talk about for various confidentiality reasons. So why should someone hire me? Well, I really try and make a difference and put passion into my work because I care about my clients and I care about their families. I was a child of divorce myself. I've had, I think, about 7 divorces to date in my family. So I've seen it firsthand. I know how bad it can be and how hard it can be. And I have kids myself, so I get the emotional costs that are associated, especially in cases involving children, and I really make it a policy not to be one of those divorce lawyers that uses the children as pawns. That really rubs me the wrong way. I'm available 24/7 to my clients, something kind of unusual in my field. I give out my personal cell phone number to every client who hires me. I pride myself on being available to my clients and getting back to them within 24 hours of them trying to contact me no matter what I'm doing. Because in my field, things come up and it's not confined to 9 to 5. And I get results. Here are some examples of past results that I've gotten from my clients. And the first of which was a very tough case. The father had taken the children away. We ended up getting sole legal and physical custody of the children, and we got them back within a week of the order, which was great. He was out of state, so it took a lot of work. I defended a high-profile client against a request by the mother of his child to increase child support to $20,000 a month. We instead got it reduced to 3. And I've gotten multiple orders, and these are some of the best orders when the other side has to pay my bill. And that those have ranged upwards of $100,000, $200,000 for cases that have gone on for 5 years. So, when I represent you, you are in good hands. So rest assured, anybody you send to me, I'll be taking great care of. So, another question that I get a lot is, why in the world do I practice family law? It's not really an area that a lot of people grow up imagining they're going to do for their careers. And initially, I kind of fell into it. Coming out of law school, it was during a recession. I'd originally envisioned a career in finance or real estate, both of which were hit very hard by the recession. And thankfully, family law is somewhat recession-proof because people get divorced regardless of whether the market's up, down, or sideways. So I got an opportunity, and I found I really liked it. There was a lot of business work involved, a lot of finance work involved, especially with folks who own their own business or are not traditional W-2 or 1099 employees trying to value what their income is, what their ability to pay support is. So as I went on and on, I found that my skill set made me kind of uniquely qualified because there's not a lot of folks that do what I do who have finance or tax backgrounds. And then what really kind of sold me was Ryan's case. This was one of the first custody cases that I handled. It was the first real trial that I handled in my career. I was a baby attorney. I'd been accredited for less than a year. And we were dealing with what is called a move-away request, which is where one parent seeks to move out of state with the child and the other parent does not agree. So in this case, Ryan was a guy who he had a troubled past. As a teenager, he kind of fell into the wrong crowd. He had some drug problems, and he ended up getting his high school girlfriend pregnant. And when they had the child, having a son really changed his life. It put him on the right path. It inspired him to get sober. It inspired him to go to junior college. It inspired him to get a job. He'd gotten promoted in his job. He was doing all the right things. He was there for his son. He was really a 50-50 parent. But he didn't have the money that mom's new husband had. And mom's new husband had a job opportunity in Las Vegas. And so really the only reason for the move was, stepdad has a new job, so we're out of here. And it was a tough case. And what happened was the court appointed what's called a child custody evaluator, which is typically a psychiatrist or a licensed therapist or a social worker who's uniquely trained to evaluate child custody claims and basically render a formal opinion using a variety of techniques and scientific testing and all of that. And the long and the short of it was the evaluation came out against us. The evaluator said it was a close call, but mom should be allowed to move. So going into court, we really had the deck stacked against us. We had to not only convince the judge that mom shouldn't be allowed to move, but we had to somehow convince him that me, this baby attorney, knew more than a licensed professional who had been doing this for 25 years and spent the time to put together a 100-page report. So we have the trial, 2-day trial. I go in, and it comes time for the judge to render his opinion, his ruling. And we're all hanging on pins and needles, and you can feel it in the air. And the judge says, I'm not going to stop mom from moving, but that doesn't mean that mom can take the child with her. And at that moment, you could feel, I still get teared up remembering it, you could feel the energy in the room, you could feel the emotion, because my client, this big, tough, 6'6", 250-pound guy with tattoos and everything, which are covered by his suit and my advice, just starts weeping because he's so happy because he'd only be able to see his son maybe 3-4 times a year. He didn't have the money to go to Vegas all the time. And his mom, who was very ill, she had terminal cancer. You didn't know how much time she had left. She didn't have the ability to go to Vegas. It could have been the last time she saw her grandson. She collapsed in tears. She was saying, "Thank God for sending Matt to us." And you just get this feeling at that moment that you know you're doing the right thing. And it was at that moment that I really fell in love with family law and knew that that was the career for me. So if any of you have anyone facing family law issues, please feel free to send them to me. Happy to take care of them.
I just want to say it's not a question. So I brought Matt to the group. When you play sports and you play games, you really get to know someone's true character, who they are. And so Maddie and I have been playing basketball over at Trident Center, where his office is, which is literally right there, for many years now. And I know Matt to be the guy that just showed himself to be. He's an amazing person. He's got an amazing heart. And it's a tough deal. Like when you're fighting with your spouse and divorce is coming, you need someone to take care of you. So my boy Matt.